So in the last video, we looked at the poorest countries in Africa. But let's be real. Africa is not one big story of struggle. In fact, some African nations are doing really well. It's not just on paper, but in real progress. From energy exports, to financial hubs, to tourism powerhouses, these countries are using what they've got, whether it's oil, brains, beaches, or business, to build real wealth. So today we're counting down the 10 richest countries in Africa based on GDP per capita, but we're not just listing names. We're breaking down how they got here, what's working, and what challenges still lie ahead. Let's get into it. Number 10, Tunisia. Tunisia is one of North Africa's smaller economies, but it's quietly solid. No oil boom here. This country makes its money through a mix of tourism, agriculture, and manufacturing, especially car parts and clothing. What's interesting is how Tunisia invested early in education and healthcare, creating a pretty strong middle class. But political instability after the Arab Spring has slowed growth in recent years. Still, Tunisia has potential. It just needs consistent leadership and investment in youth employment and tech innovation. Number 9, Egypt. Egypt is one of the most important economies on the continent. Its wealth comes from a bunch of places: tourism, the Suez Canal, gas exports, and a rapidly growing construction sector. Cairo's skyline is full of cranes, and there's even a whole new capital city being built. But here's the twist. Egypt has a huge population, so while the economy is big, the wealth is spread thin. Rural poverty is still a challenge. Still, Egypt's investments in renewable energy, infrastructure, transport could pay off big in the next decade. Number 8, South Africa. South Africa has long been one of Africa's powerhouses. It's got gold, diamonds, advanced manufacturing, and a sophisticated banking system. Cape Town and Johannesburg are modern, tech-friendly cities, but quality is massive. A history of apartheid and current political issues mean wealth is concentrated at the top, and unemployment remains high, especially among young people. That said, South Africa is a key player in African trade and diplomacy, and its infrastructure is among the best on the continent. Number 7, Algeria. Algeria sits on a sea of oil and natural gas, and that's where most of its wealth comes from. The country exports a lot of energy to Europe, which gives it a strong GDP per capita. But here's the catch. The economy isn't very diversified. That means when oil prices drop, everything slows down. Youth unemployment is high, and the private sector is tightly regulated. The government has started talking about reforms, including tech and tourism, but it's a long game. Number 6, Botswana. Botswana is often held up as a model for how to do things right. It's rich in diamonds, but unlike a lot of resource-rich countries, Botswana didn't fall into the corruption trap. The country invested diamond profits into education, healthcare, and infrastructure. It has a stable democracy, relatively low corruption, and one of the best-managed economies in Africa. It's not perfect. Youth unemployment is still a concern. But Botswana proves that smart policy and long-term thinking can work. Number 5, Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is rich in oil, and that's what shoots its GDP per capita way up. But here's where things get tricky. Most of that wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. The country has flashy buildings and highways in the capital, but rural poverty is still widespread. It's also been under authoritarian rule for decades, which has slowed down inclusive development. So while it's technically one of the richest, the gap between rich and poor is one of the largest. Number 4, Gabon. Like its neighbor Equatorial Guinea, Gabon also sits on major oil reserves, and a small population helps boost its GDP per capita. But Gabon has taken a slightly different path. It's investing in environmental protection, trying to become a leader in ecotourism, and even launched a sovereign wealth fund to plan for a post-oil future. It still faces challenges, like youth unemployment and urban-rural inequality. But it's thinking ahead. Number 3, Mauritius. Mauritius is one of the most interesting cases on this list. No oil, no gas, no diamonds. But it's one of the richest. Why? Smart planning. Mauritius transformed from a sugar-based economy to one that thrives on tourism, finance, education, and IT. It's super business-friendly, has low corruption, consistently ranks high for quality of life in Africa, It's also socially diverse and politically stable. Strong combo for growth. Number 2, Libya. Libya is a reminder that wealth and stability don't always go hand in hand. It has massive oil reserves, and that alone keeps its GDP per capita high. Even after years of civil war, before 2011, Libya was one of the richest countries in Africa. Since then, political chaos has held the country back, but oil revenues are still keeping the economy afloat. If Libya ever finds peace, it has the potential to become a regional giant again. But it's a big if. Number 1, Seychelles. A tiny island nation in the Indian Ocean with the highest GDP per capita in Africa. How? Tourism, fishing, and offshore finance. Seychelles focused on high-end tourism rather than mass tourism, and that strategy worked. It also has strong environmental protections and invests in education and healthcare, with a small population. In good governance, it's managed to stay ahead, though it still depends heavily on global tourism trends. So, there you go. 10 of the richest countries in Africa, and more importantly, why they're doing well. Some got lucky with resources, others made smart policy choices, and a few are using tourism and tech to punch way above their weight. Africa's economic story is not just about survival, it's about strategy. And if more countries can combine resources with smart leadership, there's no limit to what they can do. If you learned something new, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Drop a comment. Which country impressed you most? I'll be reading.